Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'll be ranking and talking about all 32 starting NFL quarterbacks ahead of the 2025 season. This on another episode of. So at rank number 32, bottom of the list, is the New Orleans Saints with Tyler Shough. Now, this is no offense to Tyler Shough. I tend to always think of the rookies as needing time, and especially for him with the New Orleans Saints. He obviously wasn't a quarterback people were truly expecting to be elite in the draft as a prospect, and he's sort of been placed in this weird position because of Derek Carr's retirement, where he will likely be the starter day one. At rank 31, we have the Indianapolis Colts with their combination of either Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones. So Anthony Richardson already got hurt, so the potential for him to be starting for the Colts in 2025 already has a chink in its armor. Obviously, Richardson has not impressed at all in his first 2 years playing in the NFL. He's been hurt a bit. He's had issues with commitment to the game, and he's just not been exciting. And the Colts paired him with in this offseason with Daniel Jones, who in New York was decent. I wouldn't call him great for the New York Giants. His only good season with the Giants, of course, came off the back of Saquon Barkley. At number 30, we have the combination of whoever the Browns put out there, whether it be Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, or Dillon Gabriel. And all these guys are pretty much the same in my mind. Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, while they are more experienced, they have issues. Joe Flacco's being his age, Kenny Pickett being the fact that he isn't exactly an elite quarterback. And the rookies have their own issues, mainly being rookies and having to transition to the NFL. So I don't think, no matter who the Browns put out, they're going to be a truly amazing starters for the Browns. At rank 29, we have J.J. McCarthy. Now, this is not an insult to J.J. McCarthy or the Vikings. J.J., for all intents and purposes, is a rookie quarterback, and I tend to think that rookie quarterbacks need time to develop, and they won't be that good when they start. And that's why he's down here. At rank 28, we have Cam Ward, and similar to J.J. McCarthy, he's a rookie, and they need time to develop. And while I think he's talented as a prospect, we don't know if that translates well to the NFL yet, so he's down here until further notice. At rank 27, we have Russell Wilson, who now plays for the New York Giants. Well, Wilson, he is still a decent starter. He played decently well in 2024, but his flaws came out in the playoffs and late in the season for the Steelers. And now you put him on a team like the Giants, who the defense isn't nearly as good as the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And their offense, while it has Malik Nabers, which is better than any receiver the Steelers had in 2024, the Giants have a much harder schedule than the Steelers had last year. So I think with all those factors combining, Russell Wilson will be down here. At number 26, we have Michael Penix Jr., and the only reason he's this low, in my opinion, is because we haven't seen enough of him. We've only seen him in a few games. He wasn't exactly stellar in those games, and until we see more of him and see what he can really do with the Atlanta Falcons, I will keep my expectations very low. At rank 25, we have Trevor Lawrence. Now, Trevor Lawrence has been the Jaguars starter for a few years now, and it's questionable if he is truly a franchise quarterback. He's getting paid like one, but is he really? And that has to do with a lot of issues that have occurred in this last season. He consistently fumbled. The Jaguars fell apart, of course, in 2024. At rank 24, we have Geno Smith. Now, Geno Smith, by talent, probably a little higher on this list. However, where Geno Smith, I think, gets put down here is because he's now on the Raiders. And I think due to him being on a new team and one who I don't think is nearly as talented as the Seahawks. We have to temper our expectations for what Geno Smith can do with the Raiders. At rank 23, we have Kyler Murray. Now, Kyler Murray, he has talent. You see it now and then. But he's not necessarily lived up to those expectations. And I don't expect him to be a very standout quarterback in 2025. At rank 22, and I can't believe I put him here, but we have Aaron Rodgers, who's now in the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, Aaron Rodgers. He looked decently good down the stretch with the Jets in 2024, but now he's on the Steelers. He has one good receiver in DK Metcalf. He has Pat Freiermuth. That's maybe all the good pass catchers he'll have in this upcoming season. So expectations kind of mixed. I'm not sure what to expect from him. It's kind of a wild card. It also depends if he can stay healthy. He's very old, if you didn't notice. But on the Steelers, I expect him to play well enough that he's a middle-of-the-road quarterback. At rank 21, we have Tua with the Miami Dolphins. And Tua, when he's healthy and that team's actually humming, pretty good quarterback. Problem is, he's struggled with staying healthy, which partially is because the Dolphins have struggled to stop him from getting hit, specifically in the head. At rank 20, we have Justin Fields. Now, Justin Fields, he's on the Jets now, which could be a great thing for him. It's another change of scenery, and he's once again the guaranteed starter, at least to start the season, as long as he doesn't fall apart. On paper, that Jets team still has a lot of talent. They have Breece Hall, they have Garrett Wilson. Their defense has several good pieces, but it all depends on what can Justin Fields do. How well does he fit into this system? At rank 19, we have Drake May with the New England Patriots, and he looked pretty good in 2024 when he did play. And the Patriots team and roster has improved a lot since then. I think that'll help his numbers. Obviously, having a receiving core helps, and an O-line really helps. So I think he'll be much improved from 2024. At rank 18, we have Sam Darnold. Now, Sam Darnold, of course, joins the Seahawks. Now, there are questions about that O-line, but I think he is good enough at being a quarterback that as long as the Seahawks provide him at least an average amount of protection, he should win them games and put up good numbers. At rank 17, we have Brock Purdy. Now, Brock Purdy had a down year in 2024, and I think 2024 is pretty similar to what you can expect from him in 2025. And the reason being is how much of talent that team has lost in this offseason. Obviously, they got rid of Deebo Samuel by trade, and they've lost a lot of pieces on their defense, but they retain, of course, for now, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle. I think that's enough to get Brock Purdy to improve his numbers a little bit over 2024, but it's not going to be, I don't think, a massive jump back up to the top quarterbacks of the NFL. At rank 16, we have Bryce Young, and this is my faith in him that he'll continue to play like he did at the end of 2024, because he was playing really good down the stretch. And if he continues to play really good, along with the roster improvements the Panthers have made in this offseason, he could break out into being a potentially good to franchise quarterback for the Panthers. Now, partially this is me having faith in him when maybe I shouldn't, but for now, I do have a little bit of faith in him. At number 15, we have Caleb Williams. Now, Caleb Williams, he did not have the best 2024 rookie season, but that was more so because the Bears sucked at roster construction back then, and their coaching was bad. I think he makes a leap in year 2. Why? Well, they fixed the O-line. They brought in more weapons to improve what he has to work with. And most importantly, they actually got a head coach that understands how an NFL game works. At rank 14, we have Justin Herbert. Now, Justin Herbert, been a decently good quarterback since coming into the NFL. He's never broken out into elite as much as some people on the internet would like. And He's yet to truly prove he deserves the hype around him. Now, with that being said, he's not exactly had the most talented teams ever over the past few years, but the truly elite quarterbacks can rise above the talent they've been given. At rank 13, we have Bo Nix. And I like what Bo Nix did in 2024. By the numbers, he had a better season than Jayden Daniels. It's just that Jayden Daniels is a little more flashy, which, that's fair. But Bo Nix's numbers should improve in 2025 because of all the changes the Denver Broncos did. Obviously, they are going to probably actually have a running game this upcoming season, which is the most important thing for Bo Nix because that means it's not just on him to pass. At rank number 12, we have Dak Prescott. Now, Dak Prescott, obviously, we know there are flaws there, but when he's healthy and the Cowboys team is healthy, he puts up great numbers, especially when paired with CeeDee Lamb. So, I think he could have potentially a top 10 season in terms of quarterbacks in 2025 if CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens work as well together as the Cowboys front office thinks they will. At rank 11, we have Jordan Love, and he's been decently to very good depending on the game so far in his career as an NFL starter. In 2024, it was a mixed bag. He got hurt early in the year, came back from that, and then played decently well. Of course, he made some mistakes down the stretch, but generally speaking, he seems like a good quarterback, and he puts up very good numbers for the Packers. At rank 10, we have CJ Stroud, which CJ Stroud, I think, might actually rebound given how many wide receiving options he has in 2025, but the one downside there is the Texans have seemed to neglect protecting him, especially when they traded away Laramie Tunsil. At number 9, we have Jalen Hurts. Now, he's here mostly because a good portion of his stats come from a running play that the Packers tried to ban. But when it comes to passing and getting stats from being a quarterback rather than a glorified running back, at rank 8, we have Jared Goff of the Detroit Lions. Now, the Lions, they are more focused on being a run-first kind of team, which I respect. And that generally leads, at times, to Jared Goff's numbers being a little lower than what they could be. Now, when the Lions actually need to, Jared Goff is a serviceable quarterback, and he has good receivers and tight ends to work with. But just because of that focus on running the ball, I can't put him any higher. At rank 7, we have Baker Mayfield. Now, Baker Mayfield, he puts up a lot of stats, and it's a lot of fun to watch because he likes to throw the ball. And when he's paired with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, it's exciting to watch, and he puts up some of the best performances you can see currently. At rank number 6, we have Matthew Stafford of the LA Rams, and Stafford has been one of the best at putting up consistently good numbers when everyone's healthy over the past few years. Stafford, of course, is now paired with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, which that combination should be good enough to put him in the conversation for a top 5 quarterback in 2025. At number 5, we have Jayden Daniels. Now, he was the big shock of 2024 with how good he is. And now he's got even more offensive weapons now that they've added Deebo Samuel. So he should be very fun to watch, and I can see him being one of the best quarterbacks in the upcoming season. At rank 4, we have Patrick Mahomes. Now, Mahomes obviously had a down year statistically in 2024. Maybe don't get Rashee Rice killed on a pass, and then things won't start to look a little worse statistically, but he is a great receiving core to work with. He has Rashee Rice coming back, he has Xavier Worthy, and he still has Travis Kelce, so he should still be able to put up good numbers. At number 3, we have Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow, as long as he's paired with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, that offense is going to put up stats, and Joe Burrow will have great games. Now, I don't know if he'll be able to reproduce what he did in 2024, where he was consistently putting up insane games just to try and get the Bengals to win them, considering they don't have a defense, but he should still be top 5. At number 2, we have Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson had one of his best seasons ever in 2024, and I don't see why he can't have another great season in 2025. As long as he has Zay Flowers and his combination of Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews, that receiving game should be great. Of course, that's not his only way of making plays because he runs. And he has Derrick Henry, which means he should put up a lot of stats. And ranked at number 1, I think Josh Allen is the best quarterback heading into 2025. Like Lamar Jackson, he has that running aspect, and he has a lot of receivers to choose from. And tight ends. He has Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, Khalil Shakir. Now he has Joshua Palmer, who came over from the Chargers, and Keon Coleman if he has a breakout year in year 2. So there's a lot of passing options for Allen, and I think he'll be the best quarterback in 2025. So with that being said, guys, please like, share, subscribe down below. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you next time.